Waiting for you. We believe in more love and peace and harmony. Right inside the door, there is a hug just waiting for you. Welcome home. Come on in. Welcome home. You belong. Welcome home. Come on in. Welcome home. You belong. Come inside your place. Celebrate diversity. Look at any face. There is a smile just waiting for you. Welcome home. Come on in. Welcome home. You belong. Welcome home. Come on in. Welcome home. You belong. Welcome home. Come on in. Welcome home. You belong. Welcome home. Come on in. Welcome home. You belong. Welcome home.
Hello, I'm Valerie Benton, and I'm really happy to be here today. I'm with Reverend Marleen Davis, the co-founder of Unity Church for Creative Living, and we're getting ready to kick off for the 40th anniversary of our church. Hey, Marleen.
Hi there.
So good to be with you.
Well, it's wonderful. Thank you for asking.
Absolutely. So I know this just doesn't happen overnight. So could you kind of tell us a little bit about your vision of what this church was going to be like and how it all started?
Well, it actually started when John and I first arrived in Jacksonville in 1979. After we had completed our ministerial training, we took our very first ministry at Unity of Jacksonville as their co-ministers. And it was the only Unity Center in all of the greater Jacksonville area, and I believe even in the Northeast, it was the only Unity presence. And so we had an affirmation or a mantra that we were using at that time, because our purpose for being was that we came into an older congregation and that we were told that they needed to draw young families. And so we developed this mantra, unity in the community. Not only were we wanting to grow that church and draw people into the congregation, but we also wanted to in the community itself. And so little did we know that using that mantra, unity in the community, would actually propel us into starting a new church in St. Johns County, Florida.
So tell us how that all started. I have no idea how you would start a church.
Well, we were at Unity of Jacksonville for a little over 4 years, and when we were released from that obligation, we met in a clubhouse with, maybe, I think there were about 25, 30 people that were interested in starting a new church. And so from that particular initial meeting, we went forth with, not only we took a love offering, so we'd have money to pay for a location. We opened up an account, and we set forth certain individuals to help find a place for us to meet. So from that initial meeting to the time that we had our first service, it was exactly 2 weeks. And so
wow, that was quick.
It was very quick. It seemed like the doors opened very quickly. It was like we were meant to start. Almost like we were shot out of a cannon. So then we met for the first 3 years. We met at the Orange Park Elementary School in Orange Park. They had all the facilities that we would need, like a stage and a sound system, and even a kitchen area, and an extra room for classes and things. So we were really fortunate in that we were able to find this facility, and they were willing to rent to us on a month-to-month basis.
Well, that was perfect. It worked out well, it sounds like.
It really was. And we were there for about 3 years, and then we were asked to leave
Okay.
And we had about a month to find another location, and we were successful in finding one on on San Jose, just above. Well, it was the San Jose Center, and we were there for additional 4 years while we were building the church. We started meeting every week in our home, and anyone who wanted to be there was a part of the steering committee. And that's where we would have anything from 12 to 20 people show up every week. This was before computers were
around,
or the kinds of, the only thing we had was phones.
And
at that time.
Determination. And your prayers, right?
So out of those meetings, the leaders started, people coming forward, started showing who was going to be a good leader within the church. We had our dial-up prayer there. I did counseling in our living room, and we did that for 3 years.
Okay, so how did you find this particular property?
We started looking almost immediately for property. First, we started in the Orange Park area because that's where we were meeting, and there was nothing available. We went to people and we asked them if they would donate property. And then we found a piece of property on Kingsley Avenue that was a corner, and it was a little over 3 acres. However, that had a house on it that would have been renovated, and it was going to cost about $300,000.
Wow.
To buy that.
Back then?
Back then. And so we decided, after looking at everything, maybe the thing to do is to buy property outright, because we could build a building probably for that. Once we put the word out that we were looking, 2 realtors came to us almost simultaneously and told us about General Development Corporation, who had this planned community. They were just opening them up to start selling.
That was Julington Creek, right?
Yes, this is Julington Creek.
Around 87?
Yeah, it started out as General Development, and now it's Julington Creek Plantation.
Yes.
And so when we went to, we looked at their site plan when we went, and we chose this property because it would be high visibility, and it had enough acreage so that we could grow.
So you found the property.
Yes.
What about, were there obstacles?
Yeah, the obstacles that came as a result of that was that when we decided, yes, we would like to do this, they were reluctant to sell to us because they didn't know that we actually were
a real church.
A real church, yeah. We didn't quite fit their bill because we didn't fall in that same category of a lot of more traditional Christian churches.
Right.
And so Jane Dunn was a wonderful advocate for me, because she let them know that she would not sell any of their properties in here if they did not sell to us.
All right,
and
Jane.
To make it a little more comfortable for General Development Corp., we provided them with a complete presentation with a 3-ring binder with that told about the principles of unity, the history. It also gave bios on our board people and on John and myself.
So you had to sell yourself and the whole idea.
We had to sell ourselves, and I guess they were satisfied finally, and they sold to us. And in that time, they allowed us time to, I think we've paid it off in 2 years.
Wow, that's amazing.
It is amazing, yes.
And then you had a vision for the building.
Oh,
right?
yes. Well, we thought, we had been fundraising all along. You do that, that money that we were raising towards the building. And we had figured that it'd be about $300,000 to build the first building.
So then you got the loan.
We got the loan.
And you started building the church.
Yes.
And was that pretty smooth sailing when you were up to that point?
Yeah, I would say, well, yes. We had a wonderful member of the church, Jim Crow, who was,
I remember
who was
Jim.
out every day and supervised. We had we had a contractor, and we had professionals doing that, but he kept his eye on the place, and so he was out every day. So yes, things went fairly smoothly, and there were certain things that our congregation could provide. Like I helped paint the sanctuary, and there were others that like we had our board president, became our board president, was also a owner of a pavers company, and so he provided the pavers.
Well, that was great.
And we had people showing up from the community who weren't even members of the church, but because they saw that something was happening, it was such a big vision, that they wanted to be a part of it. And so they started offering there. So that some of the painting and some of the things that we could do, we did do.
Sounds like a lot of people were joining in to be a part of the whole concept.
Yeah, it was an exciting time.
Sounds like it.
It was an exciting time.
Yeah.
And the people that we attracted were just, they caught the vision, and they were wonderful, absolutely wonderful.
Yeah. And congratulations to you, because it's a huge accomplishment in your lifetime, and
well, I'm realizing
it's made a lot of difference to a lot of people.
Yes, and of course, our vision was that we would have something that would live beyond us, that would always be a part of the community. That we were the first ones in this community.
Yeah.
So everything built up around us. There was one miracle after another. I could write a
miracles?
book. It really is. The beautiful thing about it is it really showed that God is our source.
Yes.
And that when you have a vision and you go towards that vision with certainty, that, you know,
it happens.
It happens. And things happen pretty rapidly. And it always happens at the best time.
Yeah.
Because God's timing is always the right time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
So if you were going to tell somebody like two of the most important things about our church, what would you tell them?
I would say that when somebody comes through the door, that they would feel that they're home. And I would want them to know that welcome home. You
Just like
are
our song.
loved and accepted. You are a unique individual, and we honor and support you on your spiritual journey, and we want you to know that.
So do you feel like you accomplished what you set out to, Marleen?
I would say yes, because I think we have been wonderfully fortunate in attracting good leadership after John and I left, because our intention was that this would live on beyond us, that the community would grow up around us. We were the first one out here. So the community actually grew up around us.
So is there anything else that you would like to share with us? Let's say somebody's watching this video 20 years from now. What would you like them to know?
Well, I guess the thing is that I was raised in unity, and I know how important and how valuable that upbringing was for me. And so that was kind of my passion for wanting to share that with others, because I realized that real change comes from the individual who gets in touch with that within themselves and begins to make those changes. And so, if anything, I would say, come. And I hope the doors are open for you. The community knows we're here, and that's exciting. So I would just extend an invitation for people to come and continue to come.
Yeah.
And bring the family and enjoy.
Well, I want to thank you so much for doing this interview with me, Marleen, and you have made such a huge difference in the community, and you've touched so many lives with your positivity and your insight, and I just want to thank you and say namaste.
Namaste to you too, and thank you for the opportunity that you've given me today.
Pleasure is mine, Marleen.
Yeah. Thank you.